Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is RBT, and welcome back to the Ultimate Player Career Mode with Carl Weezer on the channel. As guys, people have been requesting Carl for a long time, and I told you guys I have been scheming. So today's episode took a very long time to record because it is the whole entire final season for Carl Weezer. His junior season is going to be his last, and the final task is to win back-to-back Heisman trophies and back-to-back national championships. And today's episode is just going to be the highlights of every game of Carl's final season. Now, if you guys are excited, this series is back. Let me know by dropping a huge thumbs up. Let's see if we can smash 2,000 likes on today's episode. Be sure to subscribe if you are new and turn on the notification bell if you haven't. Guys, don't forget, as well as you see the first couple highlights of the first game against Kentucky on this season, that we are doing an Instagram giveaway. Link to my Instagram in the description box below. As soon as we hit 10,000 followers, I am going to be giving away a console of your choice, and we're getting pretty close, so make sure to go follow me if you haven't already, so do not miss out on that incredible giveaway over on my Instagram. But dudes, Carl is back doing the gosh dang thing, and you might be asking why I did this final collegiate episode like this, because a lot of people were getting tired of the NCAA football. Some people enjoyed it, but I mean, it does make sense. We've pretty much already won everything there is to win with Carl Weezer at Georgia. We won the national championship last year, we won the Heisman, so no real point in uploading every single game like I did last season, because that would just be dragging things out, and it's time to get things going into the next portion of this career mode, which you'll see on the channel very soon. So I thought, why not? I didn't want to just skip the last season, so make one final huge episode that took a really long time to record, hence why it took so long for it to come out. But one final episode to highlight his final collegiate season as a Georgia Bulldog, as we do get a win in our first game of the season against Kentucky, as Carl had a pretty good first game. 19-33, 549 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. So guys, I would like to give a massive shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. SeatGeek is the #1 app when it comes to getting the best ticket for the best price to any sporting event out there. There's actually more than just sports that you can get tickets for on the app. You can get concert tickets, you can get Broadway show tickets, comedy tickets, music festival tickets, and a lot more. There will be a link to go download the app in the description box below, and once you go download the app, use the code RBT to get $20 off your first purchase. And once again, thanks so much to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. They are a fantastic company, and I would not agree to do this otherwise. But with that said, guys, let's get into the rest of the video. Well, now that that's over, let's actually start talking about the video as we jump into game number 2 against the South Carolina Gamecocks. And what a pass from Carl Weezer. What a touch on the pass to throw it to Chris Lindsey to take a touchdown lead early on against the South Carolina Gamecocks. And as you guys see, we are ranked number 3 in the country, but we weren't ranked. I was really confused. We weren't ranked number 1, although we are coming back off of a national championship victory. And Carl Weezer, even though he won the Heisman last year, was in the Heisman watch, but once again was not first team preseason All-American. This was an incredible pass off the play action. We were actually losing at this point. This is going to tie the ball game. But he was not preseason All-American, wasn't preseason second-team All-American, wasn't preseason All-SEC or preseason second-team All-SEC, which is really strange for a reigning Heisman champion. And also, I mean, it was the same thing last year. He won the Heisman and yet didn't get any All-Americans. Not first-team All-American, not second-team All-American, not first-team All-SEC, not second-team All-SEC. So that was a little weird. So I guess the one thing we could accomplish that we have not accomplished yet is to get first-team All-SEC and first-team All-American, as we do take the lead here 33-28 on Carl's 5th touchdown pass of the half. And for some reason, dude, our defense could not play well whatsoever in some parts of the season. In this particular game, we were having to outscore opponents left and right. That was our only chance to win, but that's his 6th touchdown pass of the game. So Carl is starting off this season with an absolute bang. As I do want to say, I did throw a lot of interceptions that first game, so that is something I definitely do want to cut down on. It has our 7th touchdown pass. But look, dudes, it's 45-48. Scoring 48 points, we should not be almost losing as we score our 55th point of the game. Carl's 8th touchdown pass, and Latavius Burney actually broke his own record of yards in the game receiving for a receiver. But that is mental right here. And still, dude, they scored again. But here we're going to scramble. That's Carl's 9th touchdown of this game. And that's what it takes to get the win. If we didn't score one of those touchdowns, we might have lost. So we do end up getting a 62-52 win over South Carolina. But dogs, like, our defense has got to play better. 754 yards is what it took to get the win, dude. Our defense, man, not a fan. Not a fan early on. As now, we are still ranked number 3 in traveling to Arkansas to hopefully not get upset. First and goal, taking on Arkansas. We score a touchdown to take a 7-0 lead early on in this ball game. And now, dudes, it's tied now. But what I did want to say is one of the reasons I did start the NCAA Dynasty as we take the lead here is, if you haven't watched that, go check it out. I've actually had so much fun recording that NCAA coaching carousel dynasty. But what I'm going to say is, like, a lot of people want to see NCAA on the channel, but I don't want to, like, restrict it just to the Carl Weezer series because the views is getting lower and lower because it's still an NCAA and it's dragging things on. At the same time, I wanted to keep NCAA on the channel, hence why I started that, like, dynasty mode, because it makes everybody happy. So, makes me happy, makes you happy, makes everybody happy. So that's why I did that. And that's kind of why I decided to make this all one last episode in college for Carl Weezer before we move things on. But once again, dudes, our defense is just, like, 31 points shouldn't, like, make the game this close. Arkansas should not have, like, 28 points against us, not even into the fourth quarter, as Carl's still having to put up incredible numbers. Lindsey with a 24-yard touchdown reception to once again make it a 2-possession lead going into the fourth quarter. A 5-touchdown game, but dudes, look! It's a 42-38 game, and it's a 4th and 10. Dude, if we don't pick this up, it's GG. Carl's gonna scramble, and apparently that guy had eyes in the back of his head, and he gets hurt. That's gonna be the end of the game, and we actually we lose. So we actually lose here, and we get upset. So that's unfortunate. Our defense, man, like, are you actually kidding me? If it wasn't for our defense, dude, we'd still be undefeated. So that's been the problem in this series thus far. Every time we've lost is because we give up like 40+ points, and it sucks. As the quarterback, I have nothing I can. Well, I'm not Carl, but you guys get what I'm saying. I have no control over how our defense plays because we can't play defense. So that's unfortunate. But all we can do is keep on keeping on, as we obviously are playing Vanderbilt here to take a 20-10 lead. And every game we've lost in this series, even last season, we didn't go undefeated last season, even though we did end up winning the national championship game. We won week 1 or lost week 1 against Clemson, I believe, and that's because we gave up like 50-something points, which is mental. But luckily last year we lost week 1, so we had the whole entire rest of the season to make up for it, and we ended up making it to the national championship game and did end up winning that. So we lost like week 3 or 4 this season, as we are going to get a massive win here over Vanderbilt. But what I'm saying is the fact that I'm kind of scared because of the fact that we have less weeks to make up ground in the top 25 poll. So I'm kind of scared we won't, if we win out the rest of the season, which we have to do. If we don't, we're definitely not going to make the national championship game. But if we don't, we have to win out just to have a chance to be able to play for the national championship game. But we got to start things off game by game as we're playing against our rival Florida. As what a pass there from Carl Weezer to give us the early touchdown lead over the Florida Gators. But you know what? Of course, our defense immediately allows another touchdown. But this time, I don't know what the cornerback was doing there, but we find our receiver deep for another touchdown. Let's Latavius Brinney, who's breaking all kinds of Georgia records this season, as is Carl Weezer. Once again, a tie ball game right before the first half is over, and what do you know? The man, the myth, the legend, Latavius Brinney with the touchdown to give us the lead right back. First and goal, trying to make it a 2-possession game, and Isaac Nauta with his strength breaks a tackle, gets into the end zone, as now we have a cushion. And actually, Carl got hurt. We had to send because he was hurt. We scored another touchdown, and this is going to be another one right here. That corner, that does not look like Heisman, but I don't know what to say. It is Heisman. Latavius Brinney with his 3rd touchdown of the game, as we do end up getting a pretty comfortable win over number 20 Florida, 42-28, as Carl Weezer has a pretty good gosh dang game. Now we actually had to sim, like we simmed a couple games. I didn't show a lot of the games against like worse opponents like Idaho. Like later on in the season, Auburn was like 4-8, so I wasn't going to show that. So we already are in the last regular season game of this season, as we're taking on number 3 Georgia Tech, and this is our last chance to be boosted in the top 25 poll, because I mean we're only ranked 6th, so we have like 4 spots we have to make up, as things are starting off pretty well, as we already have a 2-touchdown lead in the first quarter over the number 3 team in the country, our in-state rival at their stadium, as now it is a 21-0 game, and I knew we had to blow them out if we wanted to get ranked a lot higher than what we are and what we need to be in the national championship game. It's now a 21-6 ball game. Carl Weezer scrambling into the end zone, as we do take a 28-6 lead off the Carl Weezer scrambling touchdown. Still not happy with how things are, because I know, man, it's got to be like a 40-point game. And once again, dude, that corner, some of these cornerbacks in NCAA, they have some suspect coverage. That's all I gotta say. Sometimes they just act like they have no idea what they're doing. But into the fourth quarter, 35-13, trying to get 40 points on the board. And who do you know? Pretty much like 95% of the touchdowns we've scored this season has been thrown to Latavius Burney, because he's an absolute beast. They took us out the game because we're blowing them out so much, as the game ends in a 42-13 absolute thumping over our in-state number 3 rival, Georgia Tech. As you see, that brings us up to number 5. Look at the top 25 poll. Ohio is number 4. That's interesting. But we are going to be taking on number 1 LSU in the SEC championship game. Already down 7-0, tying things up here. But dudes, even if we win this game, we need 2 teams ahead of us to lose. So I was definitely sketched out, but we have to win this ball game, as early on things were kind of a struggle. We throw a pick here and wait for this cut. It went from 7-7 to 31-7. Yeah, we struggled. We were struggling. But right before the half, we've got to get a touchdown, and we do. So, I mean, it's still bad. A 17-point game at half, but it's not impossible to come back. But we threw 3 picks in the first half, and that's not normally, you know, the recipe for success when you're trying to beat the number 1 team in the country in the SEC championship game, as LSU was just good and much better than every other team we have played. But now, dudes, we have to score every single possession, as down the field is our receiver, who else than Latavius Burney, with the touchdown to make it an 11-point ball game. No mistakes in the second half. Another pick, and it's a GG. We got to score pretty much every gosh dang play. Play action pass from Carl Weezer. Their X was wide open down the field. When I saw him, I was on the run, but thank God we still make the catch. 49 yards. Now on the goal line. 1st and goal. Carl Weezer scrambling to his left, looking for a receiver. What a play from Carl Weezer, as Tyreek McKee gets in on the action. Our backup tight end makes it a 4-point ball game. But what do you know? They score. And they scored twice in a row. Now it's a 4th and 28 or 26, and I was like, dang, I can't go for this. It'd be a GG. So I put my hope into my defense. Hopefully they can make a stop and get me back in the ball game. But what do you know? They freaking score every gosh dang time. Once again, dudes, every single time we have... Okay, I know that this is a lot of my fault. I threw 3 picks in the first half. And this is just sucks. This really does suck. But every time we've lost, it's been like we give up over 40 points. So I don't know what to say about that. But here it is, dudes. The deciding factor. Did Carl Weezer do enough to win the Heisman Trophy? And he did. He wins back-to-back Heisman trophies. What an incredible year for Carl Weezer. So we're not going to make the national championship game, but at least we accomplished part of our goal to win back-to-back Heismans. He wins also the Maxwell Award, wins the Walter Camp Award, wins the Davey O'Brien Award. So a ton of trophies for Carl Weezer, as this disappointed me. So obviously I knew we weren't going to make the national championship game, but Iowa State, we finish off this season. We go from possibly playing the national championship to Iowa State. But even if we would have beat LSU, you guys see, we would not have made the national championship game. So I didn't feel as bad, because Florida State and Michigan would have made it regardless. Michigan got left out, although they were undefeated. So that made me feel like not as bad. I probably would have felt even worse if like we won that game. And we actually got first team All-American, which is insane. But it made me feel a lot worse if I got so happy that we came back and won that game, and then we didn't make the national championship anyway. So it ends up like whatever. But still, Iowa State in a BCS Bowl. Like, could it have been a little bit better to finish off the season, as Carl had a pretty good year. 51 touchdowns to end off his last season as a Georgia Bulldog, with 9 touchdowns as well on the ground this season. So jumping into the final game of this season, Carl Weezer on the first carry of the ball game gets hurt, and he's out for the rest of the game. So that's an anticlimactic finish. Just kidding. He comes back, but he did get hurt. We're already up 7-0. But you got to be careful, though, because when things like this happen, teams are trying to play for a national championship game, they lose or don't make it to the national championship game or a big bowl game and have to play against like an Iowa State. That is like a recipe for an upset. So I wanted to come out, score quick, and score big, and beat them by 107 points. I was actually pissed. After I played LSU and lost like that, because I knew you guys were going to be upset with me, I was irate. So I was like, dudes, we're going to win big. So it's already 21-0 with 40 minutes left to go in the second quarter. I mean, it's the man, the myth, the legend, Latavius Brini. Every time we throw a touchdown, it's to him. Already 2 touchdowns. That was 28-7. Make it a third. Isaac now to a 14-yard touchdown reception as poor Iowa State. Poor freaking Iowa State looking to score 42 points in the first half, and we do that. That is Dominique Sanders' 6-yard touchdown reception to just poor Iowa State. I don't even know. At this point, it is 49-20. Screen pass here to Justin Schaffer. He gets tackled. Why did I show you this? Because this was also kind of anticlimactic. For some reason, the coach takes me out the game after that play. Nothing I can do about that. Maybe he just didn't want us to blow him out anymore. So the final play of Carl Weezer's career, Georgia, as a Georgia Bulldog, is a screen pass that was for like 3 yards. So kind of anticlimactic. But at the end of the day, Georgia and Carl Weezer doesn't win back-to-back national championship games. But at the very end, we do end up winning a BCS bowl. Although, I mean, it was against Iowa State. Could have been a lot worse. I mean, I was actually really upset we didn't make it to the national championship game, but still, at least we get back-to-back Heismans. We actually get first-team All-American. We won all those awards with Carl Weezer, so he does at least end off his Georgia Bulldog collegiate career with at least somewhat of a positive note. As LSU did actually end up as the national champion, so at least we did lose to the eventual national champion, although it was pretty freaking bad and the worst we lost in the whole entire series. So dudes, I think that is going to do it for the Carl Weezer collegiate portion of this series. Hopefully you guys are excited for what is to come. Let's see if we can smash 2,000 likes on this final collegiate episode for Carl Weezer, and hopefully you guys are excited it is back in general. Be sure to subscribe if you are new and turn on the notification bell if you haven't. But with that said, for the first time as a Georgia Bulldog, I will catch you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. God bless and peace.